Have you ever wondered why so many men past 50 find themselves locked into relationships they never truly wanted? Before we begin, hit like. This supports the channel and spreads this message to more men who need to hear it. And tell me in the comments, should a man over 50 even consider a serious commitment anymore? Or is casual connection the wiser path? Today, we're tackling a powerful and often misunderstood perspective. 5 compelling reasons to reconsider having a girlfriend in your 50s and 60s, viewed through a lens of modern Stoic wisdom. This isn't about promoting loneliness or bitterness. This is about reclaiming something far more valuable. This is about your personal power, your unshakable clarity, and your ultimate emotional liberty. It's about seeing the subtle traps that ensnare mature men, traps that silently steal your energy, disrupt your tranquility, and compromise your core strength. Let's begin with a fundamental principle. The enemy here isn't women. The enemy is unconscious attachment. It's the pattern of men over 50 surrendering their own standards simply because they're thankful for any company. It's that deep craving for approval after a divorce, a period of solitude, or feeling invisible for years. It's a mistaken idea that a partner will fill a void that only your own resolve, your mission, and your self-worth can ever truly mend. Stoicism offers us crucial guidance here. Never chain your contentment to anything outside your command. And let's be real, another person is the ultimate example of what you cannot control. So, let's explore the first 3 reasons. These resonate with the vast majority of men in their later years who feel that pull to find someone and settle down once more. Reason 1. Many women in your age group aren't primarily seeking romance. They are seeking stability. This isn't a critique. It's an observation of life. And Stoicism requires we look at life without illusion. As a man in your 50s or 60s, you likely possess what younger men are still building. Composure, life wisdom, financial steadiness, a settled and grounded masculine energy. Women, particularly those of similar age, sense this instinctively. But here's the crucial distinction. Often, they aren't attracted to your essence. They are attracted to your capacity to provide security. And mature men frequently misinterpret this practical interest for authentic affection. A Stoic reality check. Any bond founded on utility will fail when that utility fades. Think about it this way. You acquire a beautiful vacation home. Suddenly, old acquaintances are eager to reconnect. Are they visiting you, or are they visiting the property? Older men are that property more often than they admit. I've spoken with many men who started a relationship convinced she sees the real me, only to find themselves, months later, funding everything, navigating constant emotional upheavals, reshaping their lives, and getting little in exchange. It's not evil. It's practical. It's human instinct. But it becomes a cage if you are not vigilant. Reason 2. Your hard-won freedom will vanish quicker than you can imagine. Men reaching their 6th decade often enter a phase where everything finally clicks. You endure professional battles, raise families, face losses. You've secured your serenity. You've earned those quiet dawns. You've gained the right to decline things without apology. But the instant you enter a binding relationship, what occurs? You exchange your liberty for togetherness. And frequently, the companionship you gain doesn't justify the autonomy you sacrifice. You begin altering your calendar. You do less of what fulfills you. You start regulating another person's emotional state. You gradually make your world smaller to keep the peace. One Stoic tenet is vital. Defend your inner citadel. Your calm is absolute. Your hours are precious. Your vitality is the fuel that determines everything. Yet, countless older men voluntarily give all 3 away within weeks of having a girlfriend. Consider a common scenario. A man retires, finally free to explore, to improve his health, to design his ideal life. He finds a partner. Soon, his adventures are postponed. His fitness regimen falls apart. His weekends are consumed by her agenda, not his own. He's soothing her worries, handling her family matters, meeting her demands. His citadel isn't stormed by an enemy, but dismantled by his own missing boundaries. Reason 3. You will inherit a heavy emotional load. This is where men most misjudge the cost of a later life partnership. Women, especially beyond 50, frequently carry significant emotional baggage, past relational wounds, previous divorces, lingering bitterness, drama with grown children, money fears, social doubts, health worries. You will become the steady rock. You will become the foundation she depends upon. You will be the fixer, the comforter, the counselor, the emotional shock absorber. And again, this doesn't make her a bad person, but it means something critical. Assuming another's emotional burdens means abandoning your own. Older men don't appreciate the mental capacity this demands. At 25, you can withstand relational chaos because you have energy to spare. At 55, you require that energy for your vitality, for your calling, for your stillness. A relationship becomes an anchor, not a sail. Stoics advise us to govern our own inner climate. But many older men spend their time trying to calm another person's tempest instead. When you are perpetually managing someone else's emotional weather, you disappear. You neglect your own requirements. You stop focusing on your wellness. You even cease chasing your private ambitions. You trade self-command for constant caretaking. And the most dangerous part is how silently this shift happens. By the time you notice, your very identity has been rewritten. Reason 4. Partnerships after 50 often morph into a guardianship role. Here's an uncomfortable truth many men won't voice aloud. A girlfriend at this stage frequently turns into an added duty, not a true teammate. Not in every case, but often enough that it must be acknowledged. Women over 50 confront real struggles. Health changes, hormonal transitions, physical limitations, persistent anxiety, emotional weariness, financial uncertainty, complex family situations, aging parents, adult children needing assistance. Who becomes the primary source of emotional and practical support? You do. Not because you plan to, but because you're the more composed one. The reasonable one, the solid one, the one who tolerates strain better, the one who listens patiently. And when you are that man, you inevitably start carrying extra weight. Stoic wisdom cautions against exactly this. Don't shoulder burdens that aren't yours to bear. But in a mature relationship, the boundaries get fuzzy. You begin sacrificing your own rituals, your peace, your schedules. You cancel your plans to assist her family. You become the chauffeur, the organizer, the go-to person, the emotional regulator. You entered seeking companionship. Abruptly, you're a guardian. Let me describe a pattern I've witnessed repeatedly. A man in his 60s meets a woman who appears joyful, engaging, carefree. Half a year later, she's managing doctor visits, disputes with her adult kids, stress from old relationships, unhealed pain, or profound fears about getting older. Who absorbs all of this? You do. Why? Because you are dependable. Because you are kind. Because you fear being seen as uncaring. Because you are compassionate. But here is the blunt reality. When you adopt roles you never signed up for, you lose a man you painstakingly built over a lifetime. You become accountable for a life that isn't your own. And once that pattern starts, it almost never reverses. Reason 5. You endanger the peak of your masculine renewal. This is the final, and perhaps most significant, reason. Men between 50 and 70 enter a unique and potent life season. Your physical prime may be past, but your masculine core is more refined than ever. You are more discerning, more tranquil, more rooted, more assured in stillness, more clear about what truly counts. This is your renewal, a second act. But the moment you bind yourself to a girlfriend, particularly one whose lifestyle, need for calm, or personal rhythm clashes with yours, you risk losing that renewal completely. Why? Because relationships inherently require concession. And concession is frequently the adversary of personal rebirth. You've labored your entire life to arrive here. Your days are finally yours. Your money is more secure. You handle pressure with more grace. You know yourself deeply. You act with more intention. You understand what depletes you and what fortifies you. Yet, when you commit to a relationship, a predictable sequence unfolds. You start elevating her needs above yours. You modify your behaviors to prevent arguments. You reduce your personal time. You suppress your own wishes to preserve calm. You constrict your existence to accommodate the partnership. You cease prioritizing your physical and mental development. Your renewal becomes a diluted shadow of what it could be. Stoicism teaches that a man's central focus must remain his purpose. Not love, not approval, not company. Purpose. Still, men over 50 often become so delighted by female attention that they demote their purpose entirely, sometimes without a conscious thought. A relationship might bring warmth to your days, but it might also smother the flame you've spent a lifetime trying to kindle. The price isn't merely emotional, it's spiritual. It's energetic. It's the cost of diminishing yourself to make another person content. And you must ask, is this a toll you're willing to pay now? Let's be perfectly clear. This is an argument for avoiding women connection or dating altogether. It's an argument for something far more essential. Never begin a relationship from a place of need, solitude, or dread. Begin only from a position of strength, dignity, and complete understanding. A stoic-minded man makes a choice. He does not grasp. He does not pursue validation. He does not negotiate his worth. He does not diminish. He assesses. He watches. He decides based on lucidity, not on emotional starvation. The true Stoic way isn't to dismiss relationships, but to decline any that would steal your tranquility, your mission, or your autonomy. If you ever decide to welcome a woman into your world, let it be because she amplifies your life, not because she plugs a gap. You might be thinking, what, then, is the alternative for a man over 50 or 60? Here is the framework. Straightforward, potent, and uncompromisingly honest. First, make your mission non-negotiable. Your purpose is the backbone of your masculine identity. Second, choose inner peace over mere companionship every single time. A silent space is more valuable than a noisy partnership. Third, engage in light-hearted dating, not binding commitments. If you enjoy feminine energy, experience it without forfeiting your freedom. Be transparent, considerate, and truthful. Fourth, maintain firm emotional borders. Offer support, but refuse to absorb another's chaos. Be there, but don't carry the load. Fifth, protect your renewal phase. This chapter is rare and powerful. Don't allow anyone, yourself included, to devalue it. Because a man who stands strong and centered after 50 becomes a figure younger men look up to, and one that women naturally find compelling. Not because he strives for it, but because he is complete within himself. In the final analysis, a girlfriend isn't the issue. The issue is stepping into a partnership with your eyes closed, unaware of the stakes. A Stoic man in his later years knows this truth. Freedom is non-negotiable. Peace is sacred. Purpose is everything. Defend them without exception. If a woman genuinely enriches these pillars, wonderful. If not, you depart without looking back. Because the man you are evolving into in your 50s and 60s is infinitely more valuable than the fleeting comfort of any relationship. If this resonated with you, drop the words, "I guard my peace" in the comments below so I know you understand this deeper principle. And please like this video to help other men discover this perspective.